And finally, we need to get them to take action. So it's exactly the same concept from when the customer, the consumer becomes aware of your brand, your product, what you're selling, which is you, all the way to getting them to trial you or make that purchase decision, which is, yep, let's get this person in for an interview. Hey badasses, welcome back to the Badass Careers YouTube channel where you'll find everything you need to build a career you love. If you don't know me already, hey, my name is Rosie. I am an ex-Fortune 500 corporate HR manager turned online career coach, loving my career, and I want to share with you everything I know from that HR behind the scenes perspective from my 10 years working in recruitment and HR. Now in this video, we are tackling again the cover letter. If you guys haven't seen already, go check out this video that I did on the biggest cover letter mistakes that you're probably making, because it's some really complimentary content to today's video, which is 4 steps to a perfect cover letter. Now I'm such a big fan of the cover letter. It plays such a different role to your resume or your CV. It really allows you to connect the dots with the recruiter. It really links your personality and your experience and your value add to what the company needs. It's also a great chance to show off your soft skills, which don't often get a lot of love on your resume, and it conveys all of that hunger and enthusiasm and passion that you have to get this job. And if you don't have that, don't apply for the job, seriously, because when people really, really want it, those are the applicants that stand out in the end anyway. So I have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of cover letters in my time, and I can tell you that the really successful ones, they follow a model called AIDA. So AIDA, A-I-D-A, is actually a model widely used in advertising and marketing. So it covers off the key stages between when a consumer becomes aware of a brand or product, all the way through to when the consumer trials a product or makes that purchase. So the A stands for attention, the I stands for interest, D for desire, and the final A for action. And we can apply this exact model to cover letters because we need to grab their attention, we need to capture their interest, we need to build desire, and finally we need to get them to take action. So it's exactly the same concept from when the customer, the consumer becomes aware of your brand, your product, what you're selling, which is you, all the way to getting them to trial you or make that purchase decision, which is, yep, let's get this person in for an interview. So without further ado, let's jump straight in to the 4 key steps to writing a really killer cover letter that sells you. So step number 1 is to grab their attention, and this is all about the hook. Now I have talked about the hook before on this channel because I'm a big believer in the hook, which is that first sentence, that first paragraph, which convinces the person to keep reading. Because if you have a watered down and generic hook that they were expecting, like I'm really excited to apply for this position and I'm really driven and hardworking and I'm uniquely qualified and all that usual stuff, it's not gonna do you justice. So let me give you 3 examples of hooks that really, really don't work, and I'll tell you why. Hook number 1 is what I like to call the vague AF. Now the vague AF, I mean, it says it all in the title, but let me show you what I mean. I know that with my extensive experience, I can contribute to your position as a leader in the industry. I would welcome the opportunity to ensure company name maintains its growth and position in the field. Super generic. Extensive experience, what experience? How many years? What kind exactly is going to be really useful for us? I'll contribute to your position as the leader in the field. I'm not sure that that's the hiring manager's biggest concern right now. They need someone for their team. So when you hit the ground running, what exactly is it that you're going to deliver? I mean, I could go on and on, but basically it's just too vague. Also, it could work for anywhere, any industry, any company. That's a big turn off for recruiters. The next hook I like to call the desperado, and you'll see why. My attached resume outlines my in-depth experience and professional development. If you give me a chance in an interview and hire me as your job title, you will not be disappointed. So this sounds a little bit desperate because it's saying, if you give me a chance in the interview and hire me, it's like, whoa, we're not even there yet. Why are you even talking about hiring you yet? Even as excited as you may be about this position, you as a confident professional, you're going to want to have an interview because it's a discussion and you can figure out if this is the right opportunity for you as well. It goes both ways, right? So if you're already talking about, please give me a chance to interview and hire me, it's just a bit too much too soon and it comes across as quite desperate. The next example of a hook that really doesn't work well at all, please don't do this, I call it the cocky vibe. It goes a little something like this. If you are looking to hire a successful and proven job title, who can step in and immediately contribute to company, look no further. The enclosed resume will make it clear that I am the top candidate to be your new job title. Please don't tell me who's going to be my top candidate as a recruiter. I'm the one who's going to figure that out. Thanks though. Anyway, just for this one, there's a huge difference between being confident and self-assured and kind of arrogant, almost thinking like there's nothing left to learn. So what do you need to put then to really grab that recruiter or hiring manager's attention? It all comes down to the basics of influencing people. So one of the key ways that you can influence someone is to make them feel interesting, make them feel special. So when you're applying to a company, and I'm going to use L'Oreal as an example because that's where I was last working as an HR manager. But you wouldn't apply and say, L'Oreal is the #1 beauty company in the world with X billion in revenue and 90,000 employees. And so I think it would be a great place for me to grow and develop. So don't just get that generic information off the website and put that in your cover letter. They know that already. They know where they work. They know the stats. They know it's the #1 beauty company in the world. You really want to make it come across like it's a match made in heaven. And you can do this most effectively by telling them something real. Do you have a personal story? Do you have some sort of connection to the company? Did you work for one of their competitors maybe? Are you a customer? Did you grow up with this brand? Did your mum grow up with this brand? Do you share the same convictions and values? Are you already playing on the same team in some way? Do you just get it, the problem that they're trying to solve? The person that this hiring manager is trying to recruit, do you see exactly what they're going to need to be doing and how you can provide that? Because if you can, put it here. I mean, ultimately, I would challenge you, how can you just say something human? Something that you're actually thinking in your head to get them to keep on reading. So I've got loads of examples of these for you, which you can download in my freebie, Nail That Hook. So if you download it down below, it will give you several examples of cover letter hooks that obviously got the recruiter to keep reading because they scored an interview. So you can download those, but I'm just gonna cover 2 here in this video. So the first one is more around a personal connection or story, and it goes a little something like this. I'll never forget the first time I read a Cosmopolitan magazine. School camp, 14 years old, giggling about the dating advice with my girlfriends in our tent. Today, it is my go-to pick-me-up, empowering me to show up as the best version of myself in work and relationships, coaching me in everything from skincare to finances to networking. We truly grew up together. That's Cosmopolitan magazine if you don't know it. So that's a really nice example of a personal connection or story that would hook the reader in. And on a perhaps more practical level, the next hook is more around how you're a match made in heaven when it comes to what they need, the problem they're trying to solve, and what you know how to do. So basically screaming out, I'm the perfect person for this role. All the pixels and all the code in the world can't save a website from a bad user experience. When your website literally is your business, with 6+ million customers worldwide relying on your interface to be all different flavors of awesome, it is truly a matter of survival. So how can we take Deeza's website from really good to really great, having customers shout, yay, along the way? Honestly, the way that this is written just makes people want to sit up and keep reading. It's so engaging, it's so exciting. It's saying, I get it, you want to have a great user experience on your website. Your website is literally your business. This is for a company called Deeza, which is a music streaming website. So this person has shown straight away they get it, they get the importance, they get the mission of this role. And then in the next paragraph, they start breaking down their accomplishments and their achievements and their ideas that will enable them to take their user interface to the next level. So after you've nailed that hook, the second part is about capturing their interest. So you've got the recruiter to sit up and pay attention. Now, don't disappoint them. This is where you want to draw them in to let them know that you'd be an excellent person to take on this role. Look, basically the hiring team want to know 2 things. The first is that you can do the job, and the second is that you're going to do really well on the team. You're going to be a good fit culturally. So capturing their interest is all about the first part. I can do this, I can do the job. Keep reading, I'll tell you how. So carrying on from the Cosmopolitan magazine example, the next paragraph may go a little bit something like this. I even remember using Cosmo's interview tips to land my first writing job 7 years ago, never imagining that I would one day be applying for my dream role as a staff writer with you. Since then, I have forged an international writing career, connecting with experts around the world and curating compelling content for print, websites, and social media. See how they've moved away from cosmopolitan is awesome and I've got a personal connection to your brand, your company, to basically summing up in a sentence why you're qualified actually to do the job that they've advertised for, which is the staff writer role. Let's carry on the other example, the other hook about Deezer, the music streaming website. So they're looking for someone who can do user interface. So what does this person say next? How do they capture their interest? As a UX and graphic designer with 9 years of experience in designing new website functionalities, I pride myself on getting measurable results and elevating the customer experience across all platforms and devices. Most recently, I designed a new website interface for an e-commerce client that resulted in a 3.6% increase in customer retention. Always seeking to optimize workflow, I also convinced our head of design to switch to a different UX design tool, which increased our team productivity by 40%. I'd love to bring similar results to Deezer as the VP UX and design. Boom! How good is that? If I'm the recruiter, I'm with you right now. I'm like, tell me more, tell me more. So part 3 of the ADA framework, and the third step to making sure that this is a really, really killer cover letter, is building that desire. So you've already hooked them, you've built that interest, and now you need to really create that desire, like, well, yes, we need to see this person. So this is going deeper into, I can do the job and I'll do it really, really well. And it's gonna really highlight your achievements, but not just any achievements, but the achievements that prove that you could do this job. So what you might wanna do is use headlines or bullet points and sort of highlight 2 to 4 really key accomplishments related to what this hiring manager is going to need. And honestly, it can be as simple as creating a 2-column table. On one side, you're writing down the requirements of the company when you're analyzing the job ad, and on the other side, you're brainstorming proof points, like how can I prove that I answer to what they need, that I can do what they're asking for here. And then you're just picking out the most powerful examples there. One point I would make is try to back this up with data and quantify it wherever possible. So if you say, I organized events, how many, how often, how many attendees, get specific, because psychologically, if you can add numbers and quantify things, it really helps to impress the hiring team. Because psychologically, for whatever reason, if you use numbers, it's actually seen as being more trustworthy. So if you can use numbers to back up these proof points, back up these accomplishments, then it's going to be really impressive for the hiring team. The fourth and final step is action. We want them, of course, to take some action because we want them to pick up the phone and schedule a time to interview you. So we want to make sure you have a really strong close here. So don't fizz out after all that work. Don't fizz out here and say something like, please, if you have the time, or I would be truly grateful if. So we don't want to put you in this low position where you're kind of begging, and we also don't want to do the opposite where it's a really hard sell and you just sort of assume you've already got the interview and you're like, well, I look forward to our meeting. You also don't want to do that either. We just don't want to kill all the work that you've done by being a bit pushy and kind of putting them off a little bit at the end. You're in the home stretch. This is your lasting impression. So what are you going to say? I usually like to go for something pretty simple and straightforward, like, if this letter has ignited your curiosity, I would love to carry on this conversation with you in more detail. I can be reached at any time at job.seeker@gmail.com or on blah, 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 your phone number to schedule an interview. What's good about that is it's just a nice simple close, but there's a call to action and you make it really easy for them. You tell them exactly how they can reach you. It's also good if you're in a situation where you can create a bit of honest, and the key word being here, honest urgency as well. So urgency as in they've got a limited amount of time to contact you, because people buy things that are limited offers or going off sale soon kind of thing. So if you say something like, I'm graduating on May 17th and actively looking to secure a new role before this date, so I hope to hear from you before then, or something like that. Or with my move to Switzerland imminent, I'm actively looking for my next opportunity and would jump at the chance to discuss my fit in greater detail. I hope to hear from you shortly. If you can honestly add a little bit of urgency there as well, sprinkle it in just a little bit, just into the key ingredients of the cover letter to make your beautiful cover letter, then yeah, go for it. That would be really, really good as well. So there you guys have it. 4 steps to a perfect cover letter, one that sells, a true marketing document that's gonna get people buying what you're selling. And again, guys, after putting in all that work for the cover letter, it's not going to get read if you don't nail that hook. So please do download the freebie, and the link will be in the description box down below. So you have some real inspiration from real life cover letters that have completely nailed that hook. If you guys like this content and would like me to create more, please give me a thumbs up so I know. Leave me a comment down below. I'm always excited to hear what you have to say and to jump in the discussion with you. And until the next video, stay badass. See you guys next time. Bye.